Hello, good morning cross patchers. This is third time lucky. So far I've had the postman and I've had someone try to phone me. So I'm going to try now. I've put the phone on airplane mode. So let's get going quick. Grab your scraps, grab your jelly roll scraps, and let's make some quick Christmas projects. Okay, quick Christmas tree, quick stocking. Leftover strips, maximum length for your stocking, probably 8 inches, absolute max. Okay, depending on the size of your stocking, obviously. That's for the size for my size Christmas stocking, but you might have a bigger one, then you'll need bigger strips. Okay, let's start with a Christmas tree. Okay, so it's just made up of 60-degree triangles. If you've got a mini charm pack, you can just about cut them out of a mini charm pack. You just have to fudge a couple of seams. You'll miss off the end of some, but once you've sewn them together, you won't notice. Okay, so quick Christmas tree. I've used my little cross patch 2-inch triangle template. If you haven't got it, you can cut some yourself. So grab yourself a little cutting mat that's got a 60-degree line marked on it and a little ruler. I'm using my Crossroads ruler, which is well handy little size. I've lined my strip up with a 60-degree line, and then I've put my ruler on a straight line, okay? And I've got the corner of my strip, so it's lined up there. And I'm just going to cut that off. That gives you a 60-degree angle. To cut the other side of the triangle, just keep it in the same place, flip it over, like so. Put your ruler back on that straight line and cut across. And voila, you have a 60-degree triangle. The only disadvantage is if you've got this little handy ruler, it cuts off your points at the end, so you haven't got to go around afterwards fussy cutting off all your little points. So if you make up a load of those to make a Christmas tree, cut them out, and then you're going to set them out. Obviously you can make your tree bigger or smaller than mine. You could just do a set of 3 and make little Christmas decorations. But I've got, so you've got the top point of your tree, then you've got 1, 2, 3 main rows, and then that row is inverted. That's the bottom row on your tree, okay? And then you want the 3 for your base. So you've got 1 at the top, the first row is 3, the next row is 5, and then 7, and then again 7 on the bottom, but remembering to invert your triangles on each corner, and then the 3 at the bottom. Now you can do the same for the back, or you could just have a plain back. It's entirely up to you. Okay, leave your triangles as you've set them out on your mat when you're sewing them together, because I'm very good at taking it to the sewing machine and sewing the wrong side onto the wrong side of the triangle and ending up with that spotty side facing inwards instead of outwards. So keep them on your mat like that, and just keep that next to your sewing machine as you sew them together. Okay, so once you've sewn them together, you'll end up with a lot of nice tidy rows of triangles. Obviously your top one is on his own still. If I show you on the back how they go together, make sure you iron them flat as you go. If I show you a longer one, it'll be easier to see. So they're all folded nice and flat and pressed down, okay? And then when you've done all that, join them all together and press them again, but this time press your seam allowances open between each row, okay? Because otherwise you end up with knobbly, where all those seams meet in the middle there, you'll end up with a great big knobbly bit, which we don't want. So I found if you press the seams open like that, they go together much nicer. And then you can fuse this to some iron-on wadding again, because it gives a better finish, and place some right sides together and sew all round, but leave a gap in the bottom from about there to there, so you can fill it with toy stuffing, and also so you can put the trunk in. So your little trunk, I've just folded a jelly roll strip up with a bit of seam allowance tucked in and just top stitched over it. So that will be my trunk, and you just tuck him in the base there and then just slip stitch that gap closed, okay? And then you'll just stick the other end of the trunk, as you do, into the base, and then I've top stitched mine all the way around. the machine did go kerplunk as it went over all those seams. The base again is just 3 triangles sewn together, fused to wadding. I haven't bothered putting any stuffing in the base. And that's as easy as it is. Just put a bit of rickrack on the back to hang him up, and then I've put a Christmas tree button on the front of mine. So that's a quick Christmas tree, really quick and easy to do. I think the cutting takes longer than the actual sewing. So there's my Christmas tree. Now Christmas stocking, when you're cutting them out, grab yourself one of your old Christmas stockings and draw around it, or I've got a pattern that you can buy, but I mean, just go down your local bargain shop or a charity shop and buy an old stocking to draw around it. Probably cost you £1 or something. When you're cutting out onto iron-on wadding, making sure you reverse your image for each side so you haven't got two boots facing that way. So that is the fusible side of that bit of wadding, and that's the fusible side of that bit of wadding. Cut all your strips up to about 2 inches at least wider than your boots, and then just arrange them roughly round so you know what you're doing. And I angle them round as I go, so we're flipping and stitching them. So I work out roughly how many I will need, and I place them on the wadding and angling them round as I go, like so. So keep going and trying to angling them round. Gosh, you can't say that after a few, can you? Angling them round means that you can eventually, when you get round to this side, make sure that you're straight for the top bit, because I like that top bit to be straight to fit across the top. Now, when you're sewing them on, take those off in order. When you're sewing them on, all you're doing is flipping and stitching. So take the first piece, iron that on so it's stuck on, get your next piece, stitch across here, and then just flip it back, like so. And then go back to your pile, get your next piece, which was going to be that bit, place it on top of there, making sure you've got a good amount either edge, sew that across, flip it back. Go and grab another bit. Now you're going to want to start angling, so you might have to start going like this to angle it, and keep going all the way around until you've got a finished boot. When you've got a finished boot, it will look like this. So then just cut off all the excess. So you can see all the excess on the back. Just cut them out so they're flush with your boot. Do the same for the other side, or you can just put a plain piece of fabric on the back if you don't want to mess around doing your flipping and stitching. Obviously sew them right sides together and turn them right sides out. And so you end up with a finished boot, she says. Where is it? There it is. So here's my finished boot. If you want to put some lining in your boot, again, draw around your template onto your lining fabric, right sides together, stitch all around, but leave a gap for turning. And my gap for turning I always put in this back seam here, okay? Then you would just put this boot inside of this boot. So you leave your lining wrong sides out, leave your outside of your boot right sides out, and you just stuff your boot in there, and then you will just stitch around the top of the boot to hold it in place. So take your tray off your machine and then slip this over the arm of the machine and top stitch all the way around here, and then to turn it right sides out you can just pull the boot out through the gap in the lining, okay? And then stuff the lining into the boot and top stitch down the lining. So if I pull this out, you'll end up with it looking like that. Top stitch that together and then just stuff that back into your boot, and then you can top stitch around the top. So just tuck that back into your boot, top stitch around the top, and then you can add some lace. You can add the lace before if you want, or afterwards. I usually do it afterwards so I know where my lining is going to be, and then I just top stitch around there because I like to leave a bit of the lining showing on the top. And then again I've just put a bit of rickrack on the back to finish it off. So that's today's quick videos. Thank you for watching. We'll be back. What have I got lined up? I've got a bag lined up to demo. I'm not sure what else yet, but something will appear. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your week. Get out getting that Christmas shopping in, which I haven't even started yet. It's Evie's birthday today. Today Evie is 4, which is Pedwar in Welsh. So she's gone to school. It's school Christmas jumper, Christmas dinner today. I'm going to go and pick her up from school with Jess at 3, and we're going back to have cake and presents, so that'll be fun. So thank you for watching. I'll be back probably next week with something. There's more fabric coming, so we'll see if we can make a quick project that you can get done before Christmas next week. Thank you, bye.